welcome to the Happy Life Results book reading group.
We're so happy you're here. Welcome. Okay, so now we're on translation stage number 2. And so we're gonna list 3 things, and these we didn't do at
The preview.
the preview. We skipped
We
this.
skipped these in stage 1.
So this is new stuff.
New, you're gonna do it now.
Okay, so look in the text and read this, but there's 3 things. Okay, I'm just gonna read them.
Or they could just do them and then we can talk about this. You do what you
Okay, I want to read it to you guys. Because it's new. They haven't.
Oh,
they've
right?
never
You haven't
heard
got to
me.
read this out loud to them yet. Okay.
Okay, describe up in your own words. Try to capture a clear picture of the what and why, including what is meant by unconditional. How is up a unique or different concept, and how is it like other concepts? Anticipate how the hero's lens concerning up will influence their ability to master it. What question will you ask the hero? And actually, I want to talk about what other concepts are like it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because something like, have you ever heard of the Pollyanna approach or Pollyanna principle? That's one. In the flow, in the zone, flow state.
Flow state's another
Those
one.
are 3 names for another one. Positive thinking. These are similar, but all of them are different. And are there any other ones?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Depending on how they define it.
Yes, yes.
Things like fulfillment. Oh, that's not quite up. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And perspective, changing your perspective is similar but different.
Okay.
And then nirvana.
Oh yeah, things like nirvana, enlightenment. Yes.
Exaltation.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. What are you familiar with, where you would have this ability to feel optimal in any circumstance, any condition? What would you call that? What's like that for you?
And what are experiences that you've had that you would say, I felt like this, but at the time I thought it was because of my environment, but now I'm realizing it's not because of my environment. Like, bring it forward into the future without needing the context that that you thought delivered it.
I guess bulletproof confidence is another
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
something
one.
like that.
Yeah. So you can see how, if you are familiar with any of these, one of the main ways that they're different is all of those rely on context, environment, circumstances, your external world to provide the experience.
Yeah, even something like bulletproof confidence is only talking about one context, one aspect, like just one thing. It doesn't expand into other. We just went through the 22 different contexts. When you're talking about no conditions.
So unconditional love, if it's done without conditions, then it's up in the context of love. And some of the other ones we mentioned last, the more religious terms, depending on how you approach them, they can be done without context as well.
The feeling, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you could feel enlightened or be enlightened, but a lot of them do rely on behavior, right?
Well, if the definition itself, that's where it's interesting. That's why you're translating it, because if your definition, your personal definition for a word, requires certain circumstances for the definition to be accurate, then that's what's going to be different, right? Then it's different than up.
So it's the way they translate those words.
So if we translate it up as being tall, and then in your words, tall means over 7 feet in height, you'd say, oh, well, that's not all conditions. That's not up. That's pretty high up, but it's a different kind of up.
Oh, that's making my brain hurt.
Sorry. Because if you're, okay. Anyway, so that's why you're translating it, because you're the only one who has your unique definition and meaning for the words that you have. And so you're contrasting, you're comparing. When Stacy says a word like exaltation, none of us know what she means by the word exaltation. So only she can compare and contrast it, and that's why we didn't give this assignment until stage 2.
Yeah.
Because this is assignment only you can do for your translation for your language.
Yes. Yes. So even any of those words that I mentioned, you will have your own definition for, and so then you can look at your own definition. So I can't really even tell you what Pollyanna principle is for you.
For you.
You
Yeah.
may have heard of it, but you may have a different view of it. So just look at whatever you think is familiar or similar, and then see how you can strip away all of the conditions. And you know what a condition is invisible is the condition of I have to be a certain way for
Like
the
yours.
condition to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of them, like when I just said environment and things like that, like flow state, in the zone, those things, you need a certain level of challenge, a certain level of ease, confidence and skill, but it can't be too challenging or too easy, or you won't be able to be in the flow. So that's obvious that it's context. But if you think I need to be this certain level of a person inside, that's an internal thing, but it's a condition. So I just wanted to clarify that there are conditions that you may be unintentionally applying to up that you can look at and say, oh, if it's even a condition where I have to be a certain kind of person or have achieved a certain level of character before I can feel a certain way, that's also a condition, even though it's internal, not external. So that's kind of complicated.
And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, once you have translated a section, and if you'd like feedback, if you're, okay, we won't obviously know what your exact meaning and what your exact translation is, but if you'd like to say, hey, I think it's kind of like this, or it's different than that, feel free to drop a comment in YouTube, and if you're in the Facebook group, same.
Yeah.
Because as we share our translation and discuss them, it can help us get reflection on what we think and how we feel it.
Yep, exactly. So what are we going to say?
Oh.
Your turn.
It's my turn? Let's see. Get Stacy. See you tomorrow.